Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and hello to everyone, to my fellow future engineers, uh, especially to our mom, Aspia, Siti Aspia G. Hassan. This video purpose only for my final requirements in PE211. Then I'll be discussing my comprehensive report. Okay, let's proceed. Authorization for serve. When we saw this hand signal, it means the first referee authorized the service. After having checked that the two teams are ready to play and that the server is in possession of the ball, the first referee gives the signal for the service that begins the rally. This is refers to back on for service, uh, is the most used signal by the first team serve. When we saw this hand signal, it means it is an employee lead group of volunteers that identify and leads community service activities on behalf of serve. Team serve began with the purpose of gathering team members from all locations to come together and serve the community in which we do business. Change of court is a judge supervised treatment program for those charged with prostitution and related offense in Hamilton County. And it is voluntary and includes regular court appearance of before the change court judge for additional information. In the deciding set, once the leading team reaches at points 8 points, the teams change courts without delay and the player's position remain the same. Timeout. We all know as player that when we see this hand signal is an official push in the game. It can only be called when the ball is not in play and before the referee has blown the whistle to signal the next serve. For all competitions that volleyball has researched, the common number of timeouts in volleyball is 2 per set per team. Substitution. It is an act by which a player enters the game to occupy the position of another player who must leave the court at that moment. In order, substitution is the act of replacing one or more players of a team on the court with players from the benches located behind the sidelines. These players have to be on the team roster, noted on the score sheet. Furthermore, team makes substitutions. Players are allowed to leave and to re-enter the game once during each set. When a player comes back into the game, they have to return to their original position. Misconduct warning. When we see this hand signal, this is for unsportsmanlike conduct. No sanction is given, but team members concerned is warned against repetition in the same set. For rude conduct or repeated unsportsmanlike conduct, the team is sanctioned with the loss of a rally. And we said the yellow card is the second stage of a formal warning for a player's coach for minor misconduct. The first being verbal one given to the team captain. Misconduct Penalty. When we say the red card prevents a player from playing for the remainder of the match and as a result reduces the number of players that are available to a team. A red card also carries a 2-minute suspension for the team, meaning that a team cannot replace the disqualified player until the 2-minute team suspension has expired. Expulsion. It means the team members of the players who is sanctioned by expulsion shall not play for the rest of the season. The first offensive conduct by a team members is a sanction by expulsion with no other consequences. The second rule conduct in the same match by the same team member is sanctioned by expulsion with no other consequences. Disqualification. When we say this hand signal, it is for aggression. The player must leave the playing area and his/her team is declared incomplete for the match. This warning is not a sanction, but a symbol that the team member and by extension the team has reached the sanctioning level for the match. End of set. It is a hand signal that is indicated after the last point of the set has been scored and you have awarded the final point and signal lead the fault. Whistle and show the end of set signal by crossing the arms over the chest. Hands should be open with the palms facing the body. Avoid making fists. Ball not touched or released at the service hit. It means this is a hand signal is for when the ball isn't released from the hand at the moment of service contact or if the server doesn't execute the service properly. The motion starts at the thigh and there is less bend at the elbow. Extend the arm with the palm up. Delay in service. When the server doesn't contact the ball within 8 seconds, raise both arms above your head. Use 5 digits on the right hand and thumb and the first fingers on the left hand. Always use the same digit on each hand no matter which side the fault occurred. Blocking fault and screening. When we say this hand signal, it is the same signal is used for illegal blocking and screening. Extend both arms vertically with the palms facing forward. When showing this signal, it may be necessary to show the player or players at fault. Positional or rotational fault. Uh, it is the signal for position fault or rotation fault is held at waist height. Make a clockwise circular motion with the index finger pointed towards the floor. Make the circular motion no more than twice after the signal. Indicate the players at fault. Ball in. When the ball lands in the court within the boundary lines, this ball is indicated in signal by extending the arm with hand open toward the court. The arm should be 45 degrees away from the body point near the intersection of the attack line and sideline. Ball out. This hand signal is the opposite of ball in. So when we show this hand signal, it means the ball goes out of bounds without being touched by the defender, or the ball hits the antenna or crosses the net outside the antenna. You signal by raising both arms while keeping the upper arms parallel to the floor. Catch. Catch. When the ball is caught or thrown, signal by extending your arm slightly toward the court at waist height with hand open and palm up. The ball must not be caught and or thrown. It can rebound in any direction. The ball is caught and or thrown. Does not rebound from the hit. Double contact. When you signal multiple contacts, raise your arm with the first two fingers extended. Is the arm on the side of the net where the fault occurred. Signal slightly to the side and above the head, not directly in front of you. For hit, it means if a team contacts the ball more than 3 times without sending it back over the net, and the 3 and 4 contacts are made by the same player, then signal for hits. Signal by extending the arm with 4 fingers. This should be slightly to the side and above the head.
Sanip na yun eh, oh.
Net touch by player. When we saw this hand signal, if the player touching the top of the net, palm facing the net with the hand on the side of the team that committed the fault. For a net fault, indicate the player with an open hand and not the finger. You only indicate the player when you whistle the fault, not when the second referee whistles the net fault. Reaching beyond the net. We can show this hand signal when a player reaches illegally beyond the net contacting the ball or the opponent. Show the reaching beyond the net signal. Place the forearm across the net without touching the net or net cable. The palm should be down and perpendicular to the net. After showing the signal, indicate the player at fault. Attack, hit, fault. We will When we show this hand signal as a player of volleyball, when a player attacks the ball illegally, extend the arm straight up above the shoulder when hand open, bend at the elbow and make a downward motion toward the opposing team. After the signal, indicate player at fault. Double fault and replay. This is a hand signal when the player or double fault occurs when players of opposing teams simultaneously commit faults. A replay is called for double faults and a player completely crosses the center line and contacts the opponent's playing area. A player attacked the ball completely on opponent's side of net. Ball touch. This is an this is a hand signal that indicates the ball was touched by the player on the side the ball went out of bounds. Put your arm at 90 degrees on the side of the team that touches the ball. Brush the finger tips once with fingers of opposite hand. Daily warning, daily penalty. The first daily in a match by a team member is sanctioned with a daily warning. The second and subsequent dailies of any type by any members of the same team in the same match constitutes a fault and are sanctioned with a daily penalty less loss of rally.